Hello. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Please, Cosmopolitan.
Nope. Tonight I'll have a Stella Artois. Your Stella, please. Thank you. Thanks. Oh.
Well made, huh?
White Russian?
No, Gary, give me a Stella Artois.
Excuse me. Good choice.
Well, changing could do a little good. Dude abides.
In this crazy lockdown times that we live in, where we are talking about the Phillips Perfect Draft and Stella from a can. We've done the bottle before, and listen, it was a great review between the beer, between what you get on the Perfect Draft and what you get out of a bottle if you're a Stella fan, and it was a noticeable difference. What we're doing now is, it's a Stella out of the can, but this is the new one. This is the 4.6%. Any different? Any good? You know, there might be someone out there that's thinking about buying a Perfect Draft, but is thinking, is it worth the money? You know, should I just buy it out of a can? You know, is there a cheaper way to enjoy beer? Let's find out. But listen, I'm your host. I'm going to take you through Perfect Draft, Stella, the lot tonight. So listen, if you want to find out what it's like, difference between the two, pull up a pew, get yourself a beer, some snacks. Let's enjoy it. Let's get it done. Alright guys, so as I said, it's Stella time on the Perfect Draft. I've got two lovely Stella glasses that have been washed in the sink to the same degrees as the water comes out the tap. That's all it is, 5 degrees. I've got a can of Stella that's been stored for probably about a month, maybe 2 actually, in a fridge at 5. And the Stella is going to be coming out of this lovely machine back here at 3 degrees. That's what it pours at, that's what it's kept at. And we are going to have a look at the difference between the two. Spoiler alert, I've done this before and it was much nicer out of the Perfect Draft. 2 biggest reasons being, this stuff was brewed here in the UK, mass produced, massive vats, put into bottles and cans, chucked in a lorry and put to your local Sainsbury's or wherever it's going to be. The stuff that comes out of the Perfect Draft, this stuff is in kegs in Belgium. It's the 5% stuff. This is the stuff if you go abroad, you go to Belgium, you go to one of their bars, you're going to be drinking potentially this stuff out of a pub. This is draft-worthy beer out of the Phillips Perfect Draft. So listen, let's pour some. I think that's a good shout, isn't it? Got the machine here now, so we can pour it as we talk. Ooh, look at that. Catch that. Waste not, want not. There you go. Perfect Draft. Nice head on the top. Half pint glass. Magic being 8 minutes drink of beer. The head is the barrier that keeps the oxygen out of the beer and the CO2 in. Keeps it a nice fresh pint. There you go. Look at that. Not too lively. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. There is a little stream of bubbles coming up there through the middle. Nice creamy foamy head. It's what you want when you're pouring yourself a beer. Let's be honest. You want a head on that beer. You get the Muppets that turn around and say, "Oh, do you want a flake with that?" Stick to your ice cream. And this is the stuff out of the can. Look at that. That's got a nice head on it. Very lively. Look at that. Much more lively than the stuff you get out of the Perfect Draft. Nice creamy white head. Again, 2 beers. Look lovely, to be honest, don't they? Very appetising. So first off, the one from the difference to it, look, they don't colour wise. I think the stuff out of the can looks a little bit lighter. 4.6%, 5%. Let's have a little sip. First of all, it's got a noticeable smell difference from the stuff you get in the Perfect Draft. A little bit punky, to be honest, but that's kind of Stella. I was never a fan, to be honest, of Stella in a bar. If I went into a pub, I don't think I'd order it on tap. Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't taste the same. I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be honest. This is the stuff out of the Perfect Draft. No punky smell coming out the back of that. That's a bonus. And This is quite watery. It's actually quite thin. It's got way more body to it. Doesn't have that punky smell. It's actually a nice beer. It's like a premium beer. A 5% premium beer here. This is what you expect. I mean, look at the lacing around the glass. That's what you get out of a draft pint, isn't it? Look at that out of a can. Massive difference. Look, anyone that's thinking to themselves, a perfect draft, is it just they've chucked a load of beer can beer into a fucking keg and then trying to sell it to you for 30 quid? No, mate. If you like your beer and you like a quality beer, I think you can actually just see the difference between the two, can't you really? Just by looking at it. That is a pub pint. Tastes like a pub pint. This, it's the smell. It's the smell. It's the smell. You can just smell it. And it's gassy as well, really gassy. That's your cheap mate's barbecue beer, that is. You know your mate gets you over and he's got like, do you remember those little bottles of French beer you used to get? Tiny little bottles. Get like about 25 for 5 quid. That's what that tastes like. Little green bottle. Little French beers. Yeah, that's what it tastes like, not great. I think, listen, noticeable taste difference between the two. The stuff out the perfect draft, like I said, sits in this machine in a keg. It's kept at 3 degrees and it pours, which is a perfect temperature for a lager. You want to keep it around about that, to be honest. You want a nice cold lager. It's not a beer that needs to be any warmer than that. It's the perfect draft for lagers. Banging, perfect. And this was kept at the same temperature. I'm just looking at the two. There's such a noticeable difference, isn't there? I mean, you look at that, such a noticeable difference. You know, this stuff's really gassy as well. This stuff will bloat you. You'll get a few cans in, you'll be burping. You're chatting up a bird. Probably not the best. You're burping everywhere. Farting the next day. Yeah, probably not the one. But this though, the proper Belgium stuff, different. Look at the fish. So I was looking at some bits of information I wanted to give you guys. I wanted to wow you some facts. So I looked up Stella on the old internet, and it turns out that Stella many years ago, the old Stella, when it was like 5%, 5.2% apparently, was aimed at people that like stronger beers, and it used to be expensive. So they used to brew it, and it was advertised as a beer. I'm burping now because of this. Excuse me. It was brewed and advertised as a beer that was for men that liked a stronger beer and men that had deeper pockets to afford a more expensive beer. Nowadays, I wouldn't say that Stella here in the UK is a premium beer. I really wouldn't. I would say 4.6%. It's not that far off of, a Carlin or a Foster's, or even an Amstel here in the UK, 4.1%. I really wouldn't. That's just so gassy. Just noticeably different. It's just thinner on the body. It's got a bit of back end, and you can just see from the lacing, it doesn't really last. It falls down the glass. It's just, you look at that. That is just a different beer. That is just, swirl it. That's probably the better way to do it. I didn't want to spill it. Happy wife, happy life and all that. She'll kill me. But just a different beer, boys, if I'm honest. But yeah, so listen, look, I think difference between two, massive difference. I think if you're considering one of these machines and you're a Stella drinker and if you love this stuff, you're gonna bloody love this. So if you're thinking about getting a Stella machine, getting a beer machine, get this, get it, put the Stella in it. If you've got a PD and you're thinking about getting Stella, do it. I personally think it's one of the best lagers on that machine. You can't go wrong with this as far as lagers go because it just sits at the right temperature for them. Some of the other beers, they need to be a bit warmer, so probably not ideal. You can't adjust the temperature on these machines yet. Could be something that will happen in the near future on new ones that come out. But listen, more importantly, thank you for watching another video with Beer Fan TV. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think if you've had Stella and tell us what you think about the difference between the two. But more importantly, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.